Yo, we are back. Trading Tuesday, my friends. We are in our my hangar, and we want to have a check on the upgrades we have waiting on us. Since IAE, yeah, we didn't really talk about that, but we have IAE. And here we got the Liberator. The Liberator. That is what is the agenda for today. We haven't planned it for today, but it looks like as if it's necessary somehow. Loaner matrix, loaner ship matrix from RSI. We want to have a look at the Liberator. The Liberator brings us the Hercules M2. And that is one argument why we even chose the Liberator. And it's an anvil ship. And here we see we will upgrade an L21 Wolf to the Liberator. And we want to have a check on how many Wolves do we actually have. When we go into standalone, because we might have two less. No, we have two wolves. Two identical wolves, 3 items. This one has the Heatsink. This one also, the very same. So it doesn't really matter. Both have lifetime insurance. Do they have a difference? Yeah, they have a difference. No idea since when we had been muted. Maybe we need to do some audio check every now and then. So now the problem here is we had two wolves, yeah, and we didn't know which one wolf we need to apply. Based on the hanger, it should be basically the higher number, because the wolf with the higher number should be the one that came later on, so the September ship. When we go into standalone, we should see there is no September ship anymore. And this paging, who came onto the idea on paging this stupid web page? Yes, and we had luck, yeah. We got the September edition Liberator, lifetime insurance. Nice. Now the thing is, the Liberator is not out there yet, so we don't have the Liberator available, but instead we got the ship loaner, which is the M2 and also the Anvil, what was it? The F7M, the dual seat. All right, so should be starting. Yes, it is starting. What else do we have in plan? So we are members of the Evocadi, this organization, and we are wondering, when can we do Evocadi testing? Because we would have expected that the RSI launcher will show us an Evocadi edition here, like the PTU edition. But up until now, we don't have it. But when we look at YouTube, there are plenty of content creators, YouTubers and whatnot, who already have access to the Evocadi whatever, right? And so we go here on the Evocadi. And when we go here, somewhere, Spectrum, we go directly to the community Spectrum Avocado. And here we got stuff. And we will have a check on primarily announcement in general to find out how can we start Evocadi testing. They say there will be a Faro data center part 1, new activity, whatever. The one thing that, no, that is 9 months ago. Why do they pin all stuff? But here it looks like as if that is the latest one. 9 months, 10 months, a year ago. For us, this looks kinda abandoned, or do we need to have filter or whatnot? Newest first, 9 months. So for it gives us the impression as if Evocadi is abandoned. Then some say message of the day, 13 days ago. This is the thing that we need to read. 4.6. Yeah, trouble breathing. Corona. Live play now. This is the official one. That has nothing to do with... We cannot even scroll here. What the fuck is going on here? Yeah. Yeah, computer is blocked. So this is not the page. Did we press any key? 13 days ago, message of the day. But this looks like the general. This looks like the general Spectrum thing, not Evocadi stuff. So can we go here? Okay. ETF general. Do we see a message of the day? 21 days ago. Starter guide. Okay. We're gonna read this. Do we even need to have another client for that? February 7th. That was 3 days ago. So looks like as if yeah, maybe we have a too old edition. No, we have the 211 one. We have the 211 one. But yeah, they still talking about PTU, not the ePTU. See? Should be something like that. But this again, is that avocado? Yeah, it is avocado. So do we need to have a new launcher? Not quite sure. All right, so we should be at Tesla. We are at Tesla. That is great. We want to show you something. Actually, we did 3 times. We tried to make that sort of, not really tutorial, but a small video for the YouTube channel. And we haven't been able because every time when we tried to, someone else stole the boxes. We should have the carrack here already, because that will be the ship that we want to show you how to. It is a Tuesday evening. We do Tuesday Trading Tuesday, but since we activated the ship, we want to do something different, right? So we see here pressurized, that is great. We choose the carrack, that is great. We see 0 or 400. We will take them all. Okay. So we don't need to fill up the ship just to showcase how it would work. Yeah, we filled up the ship, and of course we didn't have the reply buffer on, so we cannot really see what we did, but we can go back in and show you. We just bought pressured ice here and loaded directly into the carrack, and inventory is kind of empty, and we want to offload these boxes from the carrack down at New Babbage. This is the first step, and once we are down at New Babbage, we are basically there where we will want to be. Yes, we got the curry pots in our backpack, lots of it. We had been at Shepherd's Rest to buy some stuff. And while we had been there, we also collected some curry pots. Yeah, nice gameplay. So what do we have? The carrack processing 2 minutes. We got the M Super Hornet now, that is a loaner. And we got the Crusader M2. So that apply worked. What we also could do is, yeah, we could fill up the Starlancer, but there is no pressured ice anymore. So we need to wait on the carrack to be ready. Another thing is we have laundry. So that means we will have a break somewhere around 9 minutes. And then we do this stuff here. Yeah, so they try to go to Evocati. So they test. They test if Evocati even runs. That is what we would say an elite tester. Yeah, we are now elite tester. At least we had been invited to. But we are not able to test. And when we look at these posts here, they are not able to test either. For those with NVIDIA graphics card that are experiencing, some users encounter flickering launcher background. Who cares about the launcher background? Which can be partially mitigated through turning off accessibility settings. So, yeah, accessibility. We do not need, and they do not recommend. And you can do the NVIDIA control panel, and there we shouldn't have any settings done yet. Just default. This is interesting. There's a library JSON file where they say do something. And this is when we just scroll through, we think like, oh, these are really testers. And it's kind of weird, yeah. That is some sort of a trend that's going on. We noticed that at our workplace as well, that the customers are willing to pay and do the work themselves. So back in the day, when we had been young, the customers contracted and asked to do the work, and in exchange they give us money. Yeah, when we had been the servants, the servants, so we did the work, we got paid for the work. But now it's like, we gonna pay, yeah, and we gonna test, we do the work for them, because sometimes we could have the, what is the word, the feeling of as if CIG doesn't test. But we also gotta admit, it is now stable more than ever. We need to be fair, but yet there's still stuff going on that it's there since more than 1.5 years. And how do we know that? Yeah, because we are around since 1.5 years, and we notice that stuff, and that stuff is still around. And so, yeah, that is a thing. And we do not do testing because we want to make the product great. No, we want to have a test because we are curious. Sign in, yeah, didn't we? Ah, that is the issue console. ISO console, it is the same. Successfully contributed. Yeah, that was May 2025. And what did they achieve? Because the Starlands attack seat. Yeah, but we haven't been in a Starlands attack. Doesn't really matter. All stuff. Evocati quick starter guide. This is not an official CIG guide. First rule of Evocati. What happens in Evocati stays in Evocati. Alright. 2 minutes are over. We should be able to get the Carrack.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system.
Carrack is ready.
Vehicles, please visit us again.
Yeah, they need to do some rear elevator. That would be a great invention. But back in the day, when the Carrack is supposed to be the flagship when it comes to exploration, they didn't really think about it because everybody was flashed around. Wow, this big ass shape, and it is big, definitely. But functionality, as a ship designer, I mean, the aesthetics is one thing, yeah, it's a selling point, definitely. But if it doesn't work, if it doesn't function as the intention is, then it's also nothing worth. It doesn't really matter if it's looks beauty. So now, oh yeah, here we got some boxes. The ship is not fully loaded, of course, but we got some boxes. That's great. We don't need to have a fully ship, but we can say the Carrack itself is an exploration ship. It has 426 or something ASUS cargo capacity, which is basically too much for an exploration ship. But if you take that exploration also in a direction of transport ship for exploration, that means that we can basically transport in a Carrack materials, goods, commodities, or workbenches, like the crafting benches. Then, yeah, you need to have some spaces, transport opportunities, and eventually you do not want to have a hauling ship next to you with crafting tools in it when you go exploration, because a hauler should be moving boxes and boxes only. And for us, the M2 is the moving ship. I mean, of course, we could say it's a military transport ship, so basically ground vehicles, but we don't do that. We don't do ground vehicle stuff. At least not now. They said there will be a ground vehicle crafting ship from Anvil, yeah, the Atlas platform, and that would be probably one ground vehicle that we gonna pledge for it. First of all, because it is an Anvil vehicle, and second of all, yeah, why not? I mean, we want to have some crafting opportunities in our org, primarily. So, dinner smells like ready. And laundry, oh, also almost ready. So that means as soon as we are in a hangar, we want to have a short little break.
Quantum drive is now off.
Yeah, the Carrack, I mean, we like to fly it, to be honest, but it's not a workhorse. We like the view outside of the cockpit. Yeah, that is awesome. And of course, in atmosphere, the ship is slow as fuck, but it's not really meant to be, or unless you want to land and to explore ground-wise. And that is something that we are looking for 2026, when they want to release the Planet Tech and start creating planets in the next system. We are looking for the swamp planet. Yeah. Laundry should be finished. Yeah, got distracted from the alarm. So now gear is of course not down. Got distracted, damn. Gear down, that is the thing, right? So we do this test before we leave. We toggle open all door, we shut down everything, alright. So everybody who has a Carrack or ever flown a Carrack and does commodity trading, or even contracts, yeah, hauling contracts, you know that doing box moving in a carrack is a pain. It is a massive pain, and that is primarily because the carrack is not a cargo hauling ship. And one thing that everybody will notice pretty fast is the door right there. We will show you. Can we? Here. The door right there. You see the opening of the door. They increased it on few centimeters, so you can bring the box out. Right out is absolutely no problem. But back in from the inside, as the box turns, as you see, you need to rotate manually and scroll. Okay, now Lucky Punch, it works. It works. It is doable, but you do not want to do it. And that is the reason why we do not like the carrack as a cargo hauling ship. Doesn't matter if contract or trading, but there are still, there are auto loading stuff, location where you can buy, like the pressured ice, for example, auto load the commodities directly into the ship, fly somewhere and sell it directly out of the ship. No touching boxes ever. Yeah, that is the thing. But we want to have the scenario, what if we find a location where we can buy commodity, but yet we need to unload the stuff manually, because somehow we cannot unload the ship automatically through the commodity terminal. That is the hypothetical scenario, but there is none like that, but we want to show you why and how that could be interesting. This is not something new. This is not really new. This is this had been out there for a while now, and some people even mentioned it. Yeah, physics is great. We need to insert some meme here. Boxes glitching into each other. We want to add some meme from physics code is great. All right. So next part. Or is this already the last one? Come on, get up. Up. Yeah, more boxes. Yeah, having the Tobii eye tracker on FPS on is a little bit different. Back in the day, when we got Tobii eye tracker, we had Tobii eye tracker on for everything because we just had been immersed into what Tobii eye tracker offered. And sometimes there are stuff we need to disable it because it's annoying. Alright, so this is the last part. This is definitely the last part. And as you can see, ship is basically empty. We put all the boxes out of the ship. Yeah, and now the pain would start right now, where we need to move the boxes. Yeah, and imagine we would have a fully loaded carrack, not a half one. Then we would need to move the boxes into the freight elevator. But we don't do that right now. We're gonna have a check on how many pressured ice SCUs we have lying around here. Yeah, this is the moment where we need to disable Tobii eye tracker. And when we look here, we have a search window. Sometimes it works. Commodity, it works most of the time. So we now have 688 SCUs of pressured ice laying around. Yeah, remember that. 688. We have all the boxes out of the ship, and we lower the ship with the boxes on the pad. Where is the carrack? Here? Yeah, you see, boxes vanished. Magically. And when we go look here, we have now 896 SUs already. This is what we wanted to show you. If you have a stupid ship like the carrack and doing cargo, or even the other stupid ship, the Caterpillar, you just need to throw out the boxes and then lower the ship. And before the ship is stored in the hangar, the boxes appear already in the inventory. So this is an interesting thought that we had. Would that also happen if we didn't unload the boxes and just store the ship? We do not know. We do not test right now. So what do we have now? We want to have the Atlas. And then we do the commodity trading, what we actually wanted to do today.
Please visit us again.
And then we go doing the laundry. Be right back. Okie dokie. Laundry. First machine, second machine. We're gonna take out The Atlas we already got.
Welcome
And the other thing
to
is
ASOS
the
vehicle
M2.
retrieval system. Please visit us again.
Need to get rid of the carry parts. Empty the backpack. And the mushrooms as well. Nice. Yeah, that little thing, that implies that there will be once a fire in a hangar. Yeah, haven't missed that. Oi. Our good old M2. Yeah, gotta admit we missed it.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
You are all clear to leave.
Launch complete.
So we do Cobalt today.
Landing gear up.
Night time.
Shields off.
So we have 4 locations here on Microtech. Oh, the ramp is still open. 4 SMO 10, 13, 18 and 22. We go from the lowest number first, just because it's easier. Today it looks like as if we can navigate around Microtech. Yesterday it wasn't the case. Yesterday wasn't the case for a lot of stuff. Felt like as if there is a new or an old navigation bug implemented. But maybe it was just a coincidence. And that's why we avoid Microtech, because navigation around Microtech is a pain. Is a pain, you see. It just shows us fucking stupid Microtech, but not our actual destination. And we are only 20 kilometers up high. So you need to manually target your destination. That is something after 10 years of development. We do not know since when there are planets, since when you can navigate. Maybe that is just since last year. Yeah, so this is brand new, this tech, that we can fly around, jump to so-called job markers or orbital markers or quantum markers, doesn't really matter what you call it. Maybe that is a new thing since last year. And if they implemented this just last year, then it's basically a surprise. A surprise that we can jump to. Not about the navigation, it's only for the jump to. And so we do the 18 and not the 10.
Travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
All those 4 SMOs has one thing in common. They all sell cobalt. Out of the woods.
Shields on.
So we have gravity compensation off. So that means we need constantly boosting upwards in order to be able to keep the ship steady. And here we have someone who thinks he's the only one. Is he leaving? No. Yeah, that makes it difficult.
Docking initiated. Docking denied.
We feed the ship through the mouth.
Gear down.
That's why we want to have... Did we get crime stat for that? Fucking violation.
Engines off.
No! Oh. I'm gonna have a look. If we are the only ones doing cobalt here, we expect not. But not sure if anybody does it in that scale we want to do. Throttle X, yellow. No, what we forgot is the laundry timer. And here we see what we have expected. Max inventory on everything. It looks like as if nobody does trading at this particular SMO 18. Unless we do. And as you can see, we already have boxes down here. We buy more boxes. 400 SCU. So we can't remember right now how many SCUs the M2 has. We know the C2 has 696, 69. And therefore the M2 is definitely less. And when we want to do what we want, okay, we just got distracted from the ASUS, but it's our fault. So question is, can we get in here? Probably not. Nope. So what we want to do is we want to achieve a triangle. And so that we have a rotation angle less than 180 degrees. We achieved that now. We hope that the ship doesn't really move and locks us out. Didn't we? Didn't we lower? Maybe that is the reason why nobody does trading here. Because the stupid fucking elevators don't work. What's going wrong here?
Engines on.
Yeah, it's a little bit too steep, this triangle. Still no crime stat. Yeah, physics is great. Alright.
Landing complete.
Yeah, crimes that are in violation. Nice. Yeah, but that chip doesn't really look like as if it's active. Shouldn't be a thing actually to get crime set for that. Do we see? Yeah, crime set increased. Yeah, who cares? We are now criminals. Criminals. Alright, we are criminals. Who gives a fuck about? Let's see. Yes, now you see we have a triangle, less than 180 degrees rotation. And if you want to load your ship fast, you just point the red outline somewhere there, and you have vector force. In that direction, the box will prone. And if you are a crew of 2 at least, somebody already could place the boxes properly on the grid. That would be pretty fast. And as you can see, when we throw these boxes here, they are in the middle section, right? So what can we do? We can stop earlier. It will be in the front half of the ship. And that is the thing what we are looking for. We want to be able to smash as many boxes as possible into the ship without the need of manually placing the boxes when we do it solo. Oh, I mean, you know, full mouth. Shouldn't talk when we have full mouth. So what is the idea here? We want to create a rear wall of 2 SU boxes. What we did, we calculated wrong. This is a M2, not a C2. That means we have a 3 SU height. And that is the problem when we do trading with the M2, because the 4th story is what we will miss. But on the other hand, loading the boxes 4 SU stories, 4 SU size, yeah. This is what we have here now is 3 SU's height. And if you have 4, that some sort of angle like we have here from the roof, the C2 has that as well. It appears to be a little bit higher than here at the M2, so that you actually can stack a box, but it is still a pain. Now we have the problem that we have too many boxes up here, because we thought, or we didn't thought, the C2 could handle that. So we don't bring them back, we just park them there. Now we do the other ones. But seeing this, we need to buy 4 SU boxes to have everything proper on the grid. And that is the thing here. In this particular trade run we do here, we do not want to have maxed out in what we usually do. No, this time we want to have the grid maxed out. This is basically a preparation, a gameplay preparation for the moment they release the Ironclad. We are really curious on how the Ironclad would behave, if you will, when it comes to actually commodity trading. Why are we muted all the time? So now we have the issue that we should have 4 SU boxes so that we can have a proper third layer on the grid. Because the goal at the end is not having the ship maxed out as we usually do. We want to have the grid maxed out. And this is basically a preparation for the Ironclad once it comes out. Should we lock the price? No. 19.9. So what we could do is we could find another SMO and buy 4 SDUs. We expect that all 4 SMOs, nobody does commodity trading. Because it's painful work, hard work, tedious work. We do not complain and we also do not cry. We just noticed. Don't we have enough power for the quantum drive? What the fuck?
Shields on.
Is that the new thing with engineering and the M2 that you cannot switch to quantum without turning off engine? What the fuck?
Weapons off. Shields off. Shields on. Shields off. Shields on.
Are we supposed to fly?
Shields off. Shields on.
Oh, Jesus, motherfucking Christ.
Shields off. Engines off. Engines on.
Wow. Oh wow. Look at that. We can jump.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
What is that? Yes, God. Do we get another crime stat? Where is the pad? Jesus. Yeah, here we definitely see the difficulty when it comes to gravity compensation. Have a check on the elevator if they actually work. Yep, there you go. What do we see? Yeah, here again. Somebody bought quartz. Who does that? Maybe it's just the system. This dynamic cargo commodity bullshit. Okay. So now we already have 12 boxes. Should be 12, yes. That means we need to have at least 24 of these 4 ASUS plus 6 other. So we have, what did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Split. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should work? No. 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 Is this fucking elevator bugged? No idea. No, maybe we just calculated wrong. There is one particular reason why we don't like to do trading that style instead. First of all, you get crime stat for parking violation. And the other thing is pirates. Stanton is the paradise for pirates, yeah. You may think, why is Stanton the paradise for pirates? Yeah, well, the paradise for pirates is it because you cannot defend yourself. Not as a pirate. No, we cannot defend ourselves against pirates in Stanton. Because we are here in armistice zone, so any pirate can just walk into our ship, while we do it solo, of course. Just walk into our ship, get into the pilot seat, fly off armistice zone and wait until we approach him, and then he shoots us. Because pirates doesn't really care about crime stat. I mean, crime stat 3 and more, they don't hesitate to shoot. Yeah. And if we would shoot a player because he tried to steal our ship, and we get the crime stat, we do need to go to Grimhex and sell the stuff there. Which is not our intention. What is that weird sound? Yeah, some people talk about space Tetris. We wouldn't refer this kind of work as space Tetris because it's not only about how to place the boxes, of course. If you want to max out the space, it is. But in Tetris, you do not want to have gaps. And if you want to scale your business in commodity trading, you need to have, let's say, the courage for gaps. To leave stuff out. But you need to make a decision on what you want to leave out. Yeah, would we say that we loaded the ship suboptimal? It would work. Yeah, it would kind of work if you would just fill up the ship. Is that heavy winds? Sounds like. Yeah, be careful with touching boxes. Sometimes you miss it and touch the wrong one, and that generates chaos. Alright, so we have our first load. Really heavy winds here. The first load, everything gridded. We want to have a check on if that is actually the case. And then we would actually need to say that 46 4SU boxes is a complete M2. Interesting. But that also would mean 64 8SU boxes will make it. And then plus some 2SUs as well. Maybe we need to do some publishing work to attract more people. Alright, so now we're gonna have a check on where to deliver. And then we will have the next test, if you will. How many SEUs we can sell there at once. Cobalt. We can sell. There are 7 locations, are they? 7 locations. Grimhex, Horizon, Ashland, SCD-1, Carnot View, Rods and Supply, and Levski. And we are aiming for Levski and Rods and Supply. The next would be Carnot View, yeah. Carnot View is nothing unknown to us. We usually went to Carnot View. Carnot View gives us 21.8. At least that is what we have. And Rodson Refuel gives us 21.9. And Levski gives us 22.6. So we will go to Levski. We want to have a check. We want to have a check. How many boxes can we deliver at once? Deliver and sell at once. And if that is more than the M2 can hold, then we need to have a bigger boat.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
.1. We see us soon.
Quantum travel engaged.
75%.
Will he open up the door for us? Probably not. Or is it? Yeah, door is open. No, closing. Yeah, we don't fly directed to Levski, we will make a jump of something like 5 gigamiles just for avoidance of interdictions. $128, maybe.
Quantum travel complete.
Yeah, we need to do the laundry.
Quantum travel complete.
Just don't crash.
There.
Docking initiated. Docking denied. Landing gear down. Landing complete. Engines off. Systems off.
Alright, we need to do the laundry. Will we come back soon? Party light. So what we do is we do store the ship from the ASUS terminals down below, so that we do not need to see the animation. That is one thing, and the storing procedure is a little bit faster. When we do it down at the ASUS, it takes 1 complete second. Until the ship is gone. Do we have terminals? Not really. Yeah.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Store.
The vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Ship is already gone. Never had seen Lasky so empty. 40 seconds. So what we want to check is, do we see the cargo boxes?
How it goes, I guess.
We have too many boxes we need to page. But it doesn't look like as if we have the boxes available.
Capsule now approaching station. Stand clear of disembarking passengers. The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily. The capsule now approaching the station momentarily.
We expect 258. That only would be a half of the ship. Somebody is doing trading here massively. This is interesting. And when we look at the ship, Cobalt, yeah, we are not the only ones, but we can bring definitely more. And even with high inventory, we can sell for a decent price. So it's quite obvious, right? And this is also interesting. 514 SUs. Yeah, of 522, that is the max. What is max inventory here? $360. 360 is the maximum.
So I get the pleasure of waking up at the crack of dawn or cleaning out the latrines.
I just don't get these hours.
Oh!
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
Yeah, but the minions work fast here. This is awesome.
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
How about you? You got?
Can't complain, really.
The capsule will be leaving the station momentarily.
Maximum performance here. Oh, but here are people all of a sudden.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Your vehicle has been delivered.
Did we even sell anything? I mean, from 315 up to 360 is not that much. Yeah, here a little bit.
Hangars open and the flight path clear. Go ahead and launch.
Corsair Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on. Launch complete. Shields off. Landing gear up.
Have a good one.
Yeah, same. Why is it raining in space?
Quantum fuel 100%. Launch complete. Docking. Shields off. Docking denied. Landing gear up. Quantum travel engaged.
So back into avocado. What happens here stays here. Sharing spectrum, game videos, screenshots, audio files, account details outside avocado is strictly prohibited. As a rule of thumb, if in doubt, don't share it. What happens in Evo stays in Evo. And interestingly, that says a player and not CIG. So where do we start? The ideal starting point is to get acquaintance to EFT testing chat and the issue console. These two crucial hubs are the heart and soul of Avocado and are the perfect starting point of your journey as Avocado. EFT testing chat is the social hub for all tests, all things Avocado. This is a chat lobby for you to discuss everything about the latest builds with your fellow avocados. Yeah, it's kind of like a cult. Visual console thing. So by now, hopefully you have made a few new friends and potentially maybe even experienced some soul-crushing moments from looking at all the icy issues. That's testing. The Waka Tracker. Walking among us is one and only Wikipedia CIG. This sublime voice is law. What is commanded shall be done. This CIG member frequently offers tiny tips or requests that CIG would like us to accomplish or work on the chat. Them's the rules. PvP is not allowed in the PTU unless CIG explicitly said it's okay. Even during PvP periods, if someone is testing something and requests not to be killed, and you continue to kill them, you can get removed of VFT. Only if you and other players consent to PvP is unacceptable unless CIG has stated no PvP playtest. So what does that mean? Can we get... Is that avocado testing? When we get the new PTU, that the avocado has been the first ones.
Quantum fuel 75%.
Yeah, here again, another member, Josh. But it's not a CIG employee.
Quantum travel complete.
Interesting.
Shields on.
Available space has been located.
Okay, I need to practice a bit more.
Landing gear down.
Arrival complete.
Complete.
Welcome.
Systems off.
Smooth touchdown at least. Here again, restore the ship from the ass up.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle has been moved.
Fine.
Hello.
Hello. 22. Okay. Let's see. Oh, still 200 left. Ooh. Yeah, and here we have the limit of something like 260, 280. So this is, well, not really a successful test, but it is a test. And yeah, that is for today. Trading Tuesday. Thanks for watching and see you.